Good morning. Today we are going to go over area, and then they're going to use area with fractions. So first let's talk about area when it is not fractions. You were doing area when you guys were learning how to multiply, and you used those little yellow cubes back in, what was that, second or third grade? Your teacher would say, show me 3 times 4. And you took your cubes and you made 3 cubes by 4 cubes. Don't know if my little graph paper lines are showing up, so let me draw them in. And you showed 3 times 4, and then you counted it up, and you said it's 12, and you thought you were a genius. Remember when you guys were doing this? This is area. You were telling me how much area of your paper, or well, back then, how much area the cubes were covering on your desk. They were covering 12 and what they called square units. That's all area is. They're going to give you a rectangle. You multiply one side by the other side. Now, where kids get area messed up is they confuse it with perimeter. And it's really easy. If you look at the very middle of the word perimeter, it is rim. Perimeter is walking around the outside. So while area is how much space are these squares taking up, perimeter is if you walked around the rim of the shape, how far are you walking? So for area, I'm going to do 3 times 4. For perimeter, I'm going to do 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 4, because I'm going to walk around the rim of the shape. And that's going to equal 14, whereas our area equaled 12. Okay, so that's where kids mess it up. I say, tell me the area, and they give me the perimeter. And sometimes I ask them to give me the perimeter, and they give me the area. All you have to remember is the rim in perimeter. Walk around the rim, tell me how far you walked. All right, another one with whole numbers. If I had a box that was 4 times 5, or a rectangle, I should say. This side's 4, that side's 5. And then just in case you can't see the lines, let me draw them in. So I have 4 going across one side, I got 5 going across the other. So what is the area of this shape? Area, I'm going to do 4 times 5, and my answer is 20. What's the perimeter of this shape? I'm going to go walk around the rim. 4 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5. My answer to that would be 18. Alrighty. Now, also, when you come to labels, I'm not going to ding you for labels here in 5th grade, but your 6th grade teachers might. So let's learn it. Area, I'm asking how many squares are being covered up on my piece of paper. So your answer is going to be square units. For perimeter, well, actually, this is tricky. Square sides, you're not counting the whole square, you're counting how many sides. You got one side here, 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 one side here. So usually they would just call it units. Now, in the real world, if I said, hey, tell me what the perimeter of your paper is, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Paper is, it's really 8.5 by 11, but we're just going to keep this simple since we're learning. All right, so this is 8 by 11. Now it's 8 inches by 11 inches. So if I want the area, what are you going to do? You're going to do 8 times 11. And that is 88. Now, what about your label? What I'm really doing is 8 inches times 11 inches. Now, 8 times 11, that's 88. Inches times inches means inches squared. And what this is saying, this label right here, is telling me I have 88 little squares that are 1 inch on each side covering up this shape. And that's exactly what I have. If I want perimeter, remember, so inches times inches is going to give you inches squared. Inches plus inches, your answer is going to be still inches. Just like if you had apples with apples, it's 2 apples. It's not 2 apples squared. That's when we do apples times apples, which really doesn't make sense in the real world. But if I'm finding the perimeter of this, I'm doing 8 inches plus 11 inches plus 8 inches plus 11 inches. So that's going to be 38 inches. So when I'm adding, nothing happens to my label. It just stays the exact same. When I'm multiplying, inches times inches is now inches squared. And then just one final little bit, just so you can make the connection to it all. When we get into volume, and with volume, I'm asking how much space is inside this box. So let's just make this 3, 2, and 2. Don't worry about it. Sorry, inches, inches, inches. So now I have 3 inches times 2 inches times 2 inches. 3 times 2 times 2 is going to be 12. Inches times inches times inches is going to be inches cubed. So if I'm talking about perimeter, my answer is just going to be inches. I'm going to have a piece of string that is, what did we do? We add this all up, 38 inches long. That's what my perimeter is. If I want to know area, I'm going to count how many squares are inside my shape. So now my answer is going to be square inches. And for this one, it was 88 square inches. And then if I'm finding volume, I want to know how much space is inside this 3-dimensional shape. I'm going to tell you how many cubes are inside this shape. Boop, boop, boop. It's filled up with a whole bunch of cubes. I hope that makes sense. Let's go over your answers. If you're a little bit confused on the inches, inches squared, inches cubed, I can explain that. That's not going to be on the test. All that's going to be on the test is what is the area of this shape. 4 times 5 is 20, and then if it's inches squared or feet squared or whatever, that's all you need to know for 5th grade right now. We'll get into volume later. But here are your answers for your reteach and practice. And it's just the same thing, but with fractions. Piece of cake. All right, good luck.